Your dog heard something tonight that made their tail drop. Not a loud noise, not a stranger at the door, just 6 words. Words you didn't think twice about. Words that felt harmless in the moment. But to your dog, they sounded like rejection, like the door closing, like love with conditions. And if you've ever wondered why your dog hesitates before coming to you now, why they watch you from across the room instead of pressing into your side, why their eyes hold something that looks like sadness when they think you're not looking, this might be why. Because what I'm about to share with you isn't just about words, it's about the invisible language that flows between you and your dog every single day. The language that builds trust or breaks it. That creates safety or shatters it. That makes your dog feel like home, or like a guest who's overstayed their welcome. Here's what most people don't realize. Dogs don't just hear language, they decode it. Every syllable carries weight. Every tone shift registers as a temperature change in your relationship. They're reading the space between your words, the energy beneath your breath, the truth your body tells before your mouth finishes the sentence. Scientists have discovered that dogs process human speech in ways that mirror how we process language. The left hemisphere of their brain analyzes the words. The right hemisphere processes the emotion behind them. Which means your dog isn't just hearing what you say. They're feeling how you say it. They're measuring the distance between your words and your heart. And there are 6 phrases. 6 innocent-sounding combinations of words that land differently in their world than in yours. Not because they're cruel, not because you intended harm, but because to a dog, words aren't just sounds. They're the architecture of safety, of belonging, of whether they're still wanted in the only home they'll ever know. These 6 words have appeared in behavioral studies. They've been linked to anxiety, withdrawal, and something researchers call learned helplessness. And the devastating part? Most owners have no idea they're saying them, or what damage they're quietly accumulating. Before we go further, pause here. If you love your dog enough to wonder what they're really feeling, if you've ever caught them looking at you with something that felt like sadness and didn't know why, stay with me through all 6. Because missing even one of these might explain years of confusion between you. Years of wondering why your dog doesn't run to greet you anymore, why they sleep in another room, why they flinch when you reach for them, even though you've never raised a hand. And if you're serious about understanding your dog's emotional world, subscribe now. Not for me, for them. Because every video on this channel is designed to translate what your dog can't say out loud. To bridge the gap between species. To help you become the person your dog already thinks you are. And trust me, they'd subscribe for you if they could. Because while you're here learning, they're at home waiting. Hoping that tonight things might be different. That tonight, you might finally understand. So hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. Because what you're about to learn isn't just information, it's transformation. And your dog is worth those 2 seconds of your time. Picture this. You're exhausted. The day crushed you. Your boss was impossible. Traffic was a nightmare. Your mind is racing with tomorrow's deadlines and yesterday's mistakes. You finally collapse onto the couch and all you want is 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes of silence. Your dog comes over, tail wagging softly, not wildly. Just that gentle, hopeful wag that says they missed you. Their nose nudges your hand for the 3rd time. Then the 4th. Their breathing is soft. Their eyes are bright. They're not being pushy. They're being present, because that's what dogs do when they love you. They show up, and you say it. 2 small words that slip out like an exhale. Go away. You didn't shout. You barely looked up. Your eyes stayed on your phone or the TV or the empty space in front of you, but your dog froze. You saw it if you were paying attention. Their ears pulled back. Their tail stopped mid-wag. They turned, and in that turn, there was a heaviness, a resignation. They walked to the other side of the room, and you felt relief. Just 5 minutes apiece. But here's what you didn't see. Dogs are pack animals at their core, not by choice, by evolution, by survival. And in a pack, exclusion equals danger. Being pushed away from the group historically meant starvation, vulnerability, exposure to predators. It meant death. So even now, thousands of years later, in your safe living room with a full food bowl in the corner and a warm bed by the window, those 2 words trigger something ancient. Something survival-based. Something that lives in the deepest parts of their brain where instinct overrides logic. Your dog doesn't think, "Oh, they're just tired. They had a hard day. I should give them space." That's human reasoning. That's what we do. Dogs don't intellectualize rejection. They feel it. Completely. Immediately. Like a physical blow. Behavioral researchers at the University of Bristol spent years studying this. They found that dogs form what's called a secure attachment to their owners. It's the same attachment style that children develop with parents. The same neural pathways light up. The same hormones get released. The same bonds get formed. And when that attachment is disrupted, even momentarily, dogs experience measurable stress. Their heart rate increases. Cortisol, the stress hormone, spikes through their system. Blood pressure rises. The world, which felt safe 3 seconds ago, suddenly feels less predictable, less secure. And that feeling doesn't just disappear when the moment passes, it accumulates. So when you say, "Go away," what your dog hears is this: "You're too much. Your need for connection is burdensome. Not now. Maybe not ever." Your presence, which should be a gift, feels like an intrusion. You, who I chose, who I depend on, who I would die protecting, are asking me to disappear. And if it happens repeatedly, something heartbreaking occurs. They stop trying. Not all at once. It's gradual, subtle. Like a light dimming so slowly you don't notice until the room is dark. They learn that their presence is conditional. That closeness depends on your mood, your stress level, your availability. They learn that love has office hours. That affection requires an appointment. That the being they love most in the world doesn't always want them nearby. You might not notice the shift immediately. Days pass, weeks. But one day you'll realize something has changed. They don't greet you at the door the same way. That explosive joy, that full-body wiggle, that sound they made that was part bark, part cry, part pure happiness, it's muted now. Careful. They don't follow you room to room anymore. They used to be your shadow. Now they're your ghost. Present but distant. Watchful but withdrawn. They've learned to stay small, to need less, to ask for nothing. Because asking, they've discovered, leads to rejection. And rejection, for a creature wired for connection, feels like a small death every single time. I'll never forget the email I received from a woman named Sarah. She wrote, "I didn't realize how many times I said go away until I started counting. 17 times in 1 week. 17 times I pushed away the only being in my house who was always happy to see me. And now he doesn't come anymore. He waits until I call him, and even then he approaches slowly, like he's not sure he's allowed." That's what go away does over time. It doesn't just create distance, it teaches doubt. It makes your dog question the one relationship in their life that should be unquestionable. Next time your dog approaches at the wrong moment, try this. Take a breath. Just one. Place your hand over your heart. Feel it beating. Remember that your dog can hear that heartbeat from across the room, that they find comfort in its rhythm. Look at them. Actually look. Not past them, not through them, but at them. Into those eyes that hold nothing but hope and trust and love, and say, "Just a second, sweet friend, I see you." The words matter less than the tone. The tone is everything. The tone tells them the door isn't locked. Just delayed. That you're not rejecting them, you're just asking for a beat. That their need for you is valid, it's just not right this second. And then, and this is crucial, follow through. When that second is over, when you've caught your breath or finished your call or gathered your thoughts, invite them back. Call them over. Open your arms. Show them that the pause wasn't permanent. That just a second meant exactly that. Not forever. Not go away and don't come back. Just wait. Because here's the truth that every dog owner needs to understand. Go away doesn't just move their body, it moves their heart. And once a dog's heart starts moving away from yours, once that distance becomes normal, once they stop believing they're wanted, it takes intention to call it back. Real intention. Consistent effort. Proof over time that you meant it when you said you loved them. And the saddest part? They'll forgive you, completely, instantly, the moment you show them it's safe again, because that's what dogs do. They forgive what we can't forgive ourselves. They love us better than we love them. And they keep choosing us, even when we keep pushing them away. Don't make them choose alone. Maybe it was grief. Your chest felt heavy with it. That weight that makes breathing feel like work. Or anxiety. That electric buzz under your skin that makes sitting still impossible. Or one of those days where everything felt heavy and you couldn't name why. Where the world felt gray and your thoughts felt loud and you just wanted to disappear into yourself for a while. Your dog came quietly. You didn't call them. They just knew. Because they always know. They came gently, the way they do when they sense something's off. No jumping, no barking, no demanding attention, just presence. They pressed their head into your leg, warm and solid and there. Not asking for anything. Not trying to fix you. Just offering the only thing they know how to give. Themselves. Because that's what dogs do. They don't try to solve your problems. They don't offer advice or tell you to look on the bright side or remind you of all the reasons you should be grateful. They just show up. They sit with you in the darkness. They remind you that you're not alone, and you said it. Leave me. Your voice was quiet. Maybe even gentle. You didn't snap or yell, but your energy was closed. Your shoulders were turned away. Your hands were wrapped around yourself. Your eyes were somewhere else. Somewhere far from this moment, from this room, from this being who loves you without conditions. And your dog, who doesn't need to speak English to understand sadness, still heard the door slam, still felt the wall go up, still understood in the way that dogs understand everything important, that they were being shut out. There's a study from the University of Lincoln that'll break your heart in the best way. Researchers brought in dogs and their owners. They measured heart rates, stress hormones, breathing patterns. Then they induced mild stress in the owners. Not trauma, just the everyday stress we all carry. Difficult news, financial worry, relationship tension. And here's what they found. The dog's stress responses mirrored their owners in real time. If your breathing gets shallow, theirs does too. If your heart rate increases, theirs climbs. If your shoulders tense, they notice and their muscles tighten in response. They're biologically wired to sync with you. It's not just empathy, though, it is that. It's neurology. It's hormones. It's millions of years of evolution that taught dogs to read us better than we read ourselves. So when you withdraw emotionally, your dog feels it on a cellular level. And when you pair that withdrawal with the phrase, "leave me," you're not just asking for space. You're cutting the cord they rely on for emotional regulation, because your presence calms them. Your energy grounds them. Your heartbeat, your breath, your warmth. These aren't luxuries for dogs, they're necessities. And when you say, "leave me," what you're really saying is, not even in this moment do I want you nearby. Not even when I'm hurting. Not even when you're offering the one thing you know how to give. Here's what gutted me when I learned this. Dogs don't take space personally the way humans do. They don't think, "my owner needs alone time to process their emotions." That's sophisticated human reasoning. Dogs are simpler and more profound than that. If you're sad, they don't think, "I should give them room." They think, "something's wrong and I need to help." That's not anthropomorphizing, that's science. Dogs have been bred for thousands of years to be attuned to human emotion, to respond to our distress, to provide comfort. It's not just what they do, it's who they are. So when they're told to leave, they don't feel respected, they feel rejected, confused. Like they failed at the one job they were born to do, like they reached out to help and you slapped their hand away, like their comfort, their presence, their love isn't welcome in your darkest moments. And that confusion creates something worse than sadness. It creates doubt. They start to question whether their instincts are wrong, whether what they thought was help is actually harm, whether they're reading you correctly anymore. Over time, if "leave me" becomes a pattern, your dog stops coming at all. Not because they stopped caring. God, they never stopped caring. But because they learned that caring isn't welcome, that offering comfort leads to rejection, that the safest thing to do when you're hurting is to stay away. And then one day, you'll be ready for them. You'll want their warmth, their presence, their unconditional acceptance of whatever you're feeling. You'll reach for them, and they won't come. Not because they're angry. Dogs don't hold grudges, but because they've learned. And what they learned is heartbreaking. They learned that your hurt is a space they're not allowed into, that your vulnerability is off limits, that the deepest moments of your life, the moments when you need love most, are the moments when their love isn't wanted. A man named David sent me a video once. In it, he's sitting on his bed, crying. Not sobbing, just quiet tears. The kind of crying we do when we're too tired to hide anymore. His dog, a golden retriever named Max, is lying by the door. Not in the room. By the door. Watching. David calls him. "Max, come here, buddy." And Max hesitates. You can see it, the want in his eyes, the confusion, the memory of all the times he was told to leave warring with his desire to comfort. He eventually comes. Slowly. And when he gets to the bed, he doesn't jump up like he used to. He sits, waiting for permission, waiting to make sure this time is different, waiting to see if this time his love is allowed. David's caption on the video broke me. I taught him that I didn't want him when I was sad. And now that I've realized I need him most when I'm sad, he doesn't trust that anymore. I broke something I didn't know could break. Next time you need space, try this. Whisper. "One moment, love. Stay close." Not "go away." Not "leave me." Just one moment. Let your hand rest on their head. Even if it's just for 3 seconds. Even if you can barely manage the touch. Because that touch tells them everything they need to know. It says, "You're not the problem. My pain isn't about you. I still want you. I just need a breath." Let them feel that the connection isn't broken, just paused. Because your dog doesn't need you to be okay. They don't need you to be happy or fixed or put together. They just need to know they're allowed to witness you not being okay. That your humanity, in all its messy, complicated, heavy glory, is something they're permitted to share. Because here's what dogs understand better than we do. Love isn't just for the good days. It's not just for the moments when we're shiny and whole and easy. Love is for the hard days, the broken days. The days when we're barely holding it together. Those are the days when love matters most. And when you say, "leave me," you're telling your dog that love has limits. That their comfort has conditions. That there are parts of you they're not allowed to touch. But the truth? The truth is simpler and more beautiful than that. Leave me sounds like protection, like you're shielding them from your pain. But to them, it sounds like goodbye, like the door closing, like being told they're not enough. Don't do that to them. Don't do that to yourself, because on the other side of one moment is a dog who stays, who waits, who reminds you without words that you're not alone, that whatever you're feeling, they're feeling it with you, and that maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what you both need. If this is landing differently than you expected, you're not alone. Thousands of dog owners have told me these videos changed how they see their dogs forever. That these words gave them a language for something they felt but couldn't name. That understanding this transformed not just how they talk to their dogs, but how they love them. But here's the thing, and I say this with love, with respect, with genuine care for you and your dog. If you don't subscribe, you'll forget. You'll watch this, feel moved, maybe even cry a little, and then you'll scroll past. You'll go back to your feed, your life, your routine. And next week, when you're tired or stressed or overwhelmed, you'll say one of these phrases again without realizing, without remembering, without connecting the dots between the words you use and the distance that's been growing. So do this for your dog. Do this for the being who never gives up on you, who never scrolls past you, who never forgets how much they love you even when you forget how much you need them. Hit subscribe. Turn on notifications, not because I need you to, I'll be fine either way, but because your dog can't tell you what hurts them. They can't sit you down and explain that certain words land differently than you think. They can't ask you to be more careful with the language you use or the tone you carry or the energy you bring into the space you share. But I can, and I will, every single week. Because this community, this space we're building together, It's for the people who want to do better. Not because they're bad owners, but because they're good owners who want to become great ones. Your dog is at home right now, maybe sleeping, maybe waiting by the door, maybe watching the driveway for your car, and they're not thinking about the times you push them away. They're thinking about the moment you come back. Because that's what dogs do. They forgive. They hope. They choose you. Every single time. So choose them back. Subscribe. Stay. Learn. Grow. Because this isn't just about avoiding harmful words. It's about building a language of love. And that language, once you learn it, changes everything. Something breaks. Maybe it's a plant, dirt spilling across the floor, the ceramic pot in pieces, or a shoe, your favorite one, chewed beyond recognition, leather torn and soggy. Or the couch, stuffing pulled out like clouds, white fluff everywhere. You walk in, you see the mess, and before you can think, before you can breathe, before you can step into anything resembling calm, it slips out. Bad dog. It feels reflexive, justified even. They did something wrong. The evidence is right there. The mess, the destruction, the thing that's now ruined. Of course you said it. What else were you supposed to say? But here's what happened in that moment. Here's what you didn't see. Your dog, who was probably anxious because you were gone too long, or bored because they're a living being with energy and needs, or just trying to figure out how to exist in a world built for humans, not for creatures who need to chew and dig and move. They looked at you, not at the mess, at you. And they saw disappointment, frustration, distance. Your face changed, your energy shifted. Your love, which was unconditional just this morning, suddenly had a condition. And they didn't connect it to the shoe. They connected it to you. To them. To the space between you that suddenly felt wider. A landmark study in 2020 reviewed decades of canine behavioral research from institutions around the world. Hundreds of studies. Thousands of dogs. Millions of data points. The conclusion was clear and heartbreaking. Dogs don't associate verbal punishment with the specific action. They associate it with the person delivering it. Read that again. Let it sink in. Which means when you say bad dog, they're not thinking, oh, I shouldn't have chewed that shoe. I understand now that shoes are off limits. Thank you for this valuable lesson about household rules and property respect. No, they're thinking, right now in this moment I am not safe with you. The person I love most in the world is angry at me. I don't understand why, but I feel it. And I need to make myself smaller, quieter, less present. Because maybe if I disappear enough, the anger will stop. That's not guilt you see on their face. That look we interpret as remorse. That's not your dog feeling bad about what they did. That's fear. That's appeasement. That's them trying to make themselves smaller so you'll love them again. It's them reading your anger and trying desperately to diffuse it the only way they know how. By submitting. By showing you they're not a threat. By begging without words for you to be safe again. And if bad dog becomes your go-to response, something heartbreaking happens. Something that changes the fundamental nature of your relationship. Your dog stops trusting your mood. They start watching you instead of relaxing with you. Every time you walk in the room, they're scanning, reading your face, your body language, your energy. Trying to predict whether you're safe today, whether they're allowed to be themselves, or whether they need to be careful. They stop greeting you with joy. They greet you with caution, because joy has gotten them in trouble before. Excitement has led to anger. Their full, authentic selves have been met with bad dog too many times. They learn that love is conditional, that their worth is performance-based, that acceptance requires perfection. And since they can never be perfect, since they're dogs with dog needs and dog behaviors, they live in a constant state of anxiety. Never quite sure if they're good enough, never quite able to relax into being loved. I spoke with a trainer once who told me about a dog named Bailey. Bailey was a rescue, about 3 years old when she was adopted. Sweet, gentle, desperate to please. But she'd been told bad dog her whole life. For everything. For being too excited. For barking at sounds. For having accidents when she was left alone too long. For being, essentially, a dog. When her new owner brought her home, Bailey wouldn't make eye contact. She'd crawl on her belly to approach. She'd flinch when hands moved too quickly. And at night, she'd sleep under the bed, not on it, as far away as she could get while still being in the same room. It took months. Months of gentle redirection, of let's try again instead of bad dog, of showing Bailey that mistakes weren't catastrophes. That learning was safe. That love didn't have to be earned through perfection. And slowly, Bailey changed. She started making eye contact, then playing, then sleeping on the bed, pressed against her owner's side. Then, greeting her at the door with full-body wiggles and happy sounds. The owner told me through tears, she's the same dog, same personality, same spirit. But she spent 3 years thinking she was bad. 3 years believing she wasn't worthy of love, and all it took was someone choosing different words. Your dog doesn't wake up wanting to be bad. They wake up wanting to be near you, to please you, to figure out the rules of your world so they can be the best version of themselves for you. And when the rules feel random, when love feels conditional, when bad dog gets thrown around like it's nothing, they stop trying to understand. They can't learn from punishment that doesn't make sense. They can't connect the dots between the action and your anger because the timeline doesn't work that way for dogs. By the time you get home and find the mess, they've forgotten they made it. It's not defiance. It's just how their memory works. So they can't learn the lesson you think you're teaching. But they do learn something. They learn that you're unpredictable, that your love isn't safe, that trying to be close to you might lead to anger. And that right there is what bad dog really teaches. Not better behavior, just fear. Next time something goes wrong, pause. One breath. Just one. In that breath, remember that your dog is not your enemy. They're not trying to hurt you or disrespect you or make your life harder. They're just trying to be a dog in a human world. And sometimes they get it wrong. Look at your dog. Not at the mess. Not at the thing that's broken or chewed or ruined. At them. At their eyes. Their eyes aren't defiant. Look closely. They're searching. They're asking, are you still safe? Am I still loved? Did I do something that changed us? So say this instead. Let's try again. You're okay. Guide them. Show them what to do instead of shaming them for what they did. Redirect without rejecting. Teach without diminishing. Correct the behavior without crushing the spirit. Because bad dog doesn't teach. It just damages. It creates fear where there should be trust. Distance where there should be connection. Doubt where there should be certainty. And every time you choose better over bad, you're rebuilding trust one word at a time. You're showing your dog that mistakes are part of learning. That love doesn't require perfection. That they're safe with you even when they mess up. That's not permissive. That's not letting them get away with bad behavior. That's understanding how dogs actually learn. Through consistency. Through clear communication. Through feeling safe enough to try. And when your dog feels safe, when they trust that your love isn't conditional, when they know that let's try again is your default instead of bad dog, something beautiful happens. They relax. They stop watching you with worried eyes. They stop flinching at your moods. They stop living small. And they become the dog they were always meant to be. The dog they would have been all along if someone had just chosen better words. They're digging at the couch, paws working frantically, probably after a toy that slipped between the cushions 3 days ago. Or barking at the window, alert and focused. Because a neighbor walked by, or a leaf blew past, or a car door closed 2 houses down. Or jumping for your attention, front paws on your leg, tongue out, tail going full speed, because you just got home and they missed you, and they have to tell you about their day even though their day was just waiting for you to come back. And you snap. Stop that. Sharp, direct, final. The kind of tone that cuts through the air like a blade. And instantly, your dog freezes. Ears back, body tense. Tail mid-wag, suddenly still. Not because they understood the instruction. Not because they processed that digging ruins furniture or that barking disturbs the peace or that jumping might rip your clothes. But because they felt the shift in you. From present to annoyed. From patient to frustrated. From safe to something else. Something harder. Something that makes the room feel colder. Dogs mirror human stress in real time. Not sometimes. Not when they feel like it. Always. It's hardwired into their neurology. Researchers at the University of Lincoln didn't just prove it. They measured it. quantified it, showed us exactly how deeply connected our emotional states are to our dog's well-being. When your voice tightens, even slightly, their heart rate climbs. When frustration leaks into your tone, cortisol floods their system. When your body language shifts from open to closed, their muscles tighten in response. They're not just hearing words, they're absorbing your emotional state, metabolizing it, taking it into their bodies and feeling it as if it's their own. So when "stop that" comes out harsh, it doesn't land as correction. It lands as rejection. Because dogs don't separate the behavior from the being. They don't think, "My owner wants me to stop barking but still loves me." They think, "My owner is upset and I caused it, and I need to make it stop." Here's the part that'll change how you see this forever. Most behaviors we correct in dogs are actually bids for connection. They're not random. They're not meaningless. They're not your dog being difficult for the sake of being difficult. Jumping means, "I want closeness. I want to be near your face, your heart, the parts of you that matter most. I want to share space with you at eye level because you're my whole world." Barking means, "Something feels off, and I need you. I need you to know that something in our environment has changed. I need you to check, to confirm we're safe. Because protecting you, protecting us, is my job." Digging often means, "I'm bored and I miss you. I have energy that needs somewhere to go and no outlets for it. I'm not trying to ruin your couch, I'm trying to survive the loneliness." So when you say "stop that" with force, you're not just stopping bad behavior. You're stopping a question, a request, a need. You're telling your dog that their attempts to connect with you are annoying, that their instincts are wrong, that what feels like help to them feels like a problem to you. Over time, if "stop that" becomes your default, your dog learns something devastating, something that changes who they are at their core. They learn that their energy is annoying, that their joy is too much, that their curiosity is dangerous, that the very things that make them, the enthusiasm, the alertness, the desire to engage with the world, are unwelcome in your presence. And slowly they stop being themselves around you. They become careful, quiet, small. They stop jumping even when they want to. They stop barking even when something feels wrong. They stop playing, stop exploring, stop showing you the full spectrum of who they are. Because showing you themselves got them rejected. And rejection, for a dog who only wants to belong to you, feels like the end of the world. But the truth is, your dog doesn't want to be perfect. They don't aspire to behave like a robot or a stuffed animal or a being without needs or impulses or feelings. They want to be seen. Really seen. For exactly who they are. They want to feel that even their messy, chaotic, playful, energetic, imperfect energy is still welcome in your presence. That you can handle all of them. Not just the easy parts. Not just the obedient moments. All of them. And when you consistently tell them to stop that, what you're really saying is, "I can't handle all of you. The parts of you that are inconvenient, that require patience, that ask me to meet you where you are, those parts aren't welcome here." That's heartbreaking. Because dogs can't compartmentalize like we can. They can't think, "Oh, my owner just doesn't like my jumping, but they love the rest of me." For them, rejection of behavior feels like rejection of being. It's all one thing. When you reject what they do, they feel like you're rejecting who they are. Next time you feel the impulse to snap, try this. Step closer, not away. Lower your voice, don't raise it. And say, "I see you. It's okay. Let's do this instead." Redirect without rejecting. Show them what to do instead of just telling them to stop. If they're jumping, teach them to sit for attention. If they're barking, investigate what they're alerting you to, then thank them for the warning. If they're digging, give them something appropriate to dig in or chew on. Teach without shaming. Guide without diminishing. Correct the behavior while honoring the need underneath it. Because when you speak softly even in correction, when your tone stays warm, even when you're setting boundaries, your dog hears something that changes everything. You're safe, even when learning, even when confused, even when you don't get it right the first time, even when your energy is big and your impulses are strong and you're being all the dog you know how to be. You're still safe with me. And that safety, that unwavering message that they belong to you completely, even in their imperfection, is what allows them to actually learn, to grow, to become the best.